Hello and welcome back to this very special episode of Cardboard Decoy Plays Kerbal Space Program. Today is the day. The bus is docked. It's already loaded up with all of our Kerbals, and now it is undocked. Let's get that done. There we go. I believe we still retain control. Which engines are these? Interesting. Yes, very interesting. Okay. Let me see. I've kind of abandoned my, there we go. And then if I do that button, there we are. I've kind of abandoned using the joystick for the time being because as much fun as it is, I think it's a little less than necessary now that we have all of these fancy little buttons here. Not saying that I wouldn't use it in the future for different things, but it's definitely not entirely necessary right now for what it is we're trying to accomplish. Maybe once we start doing atmospheric flight or something like that, then it'll become much more of a idea that we would want to pursue. However, it was fun while it lasted. What can I say? Let's go ahead and add a maneuver. What do we need for a Kerbin escape or Minmus escape into the Kerbin sphere of influence there? That seems to be a little extreme, doesn't it? Let me see. Maybe. Well, you know, if we keep messing with it, surely one of these options will work here. We do have quite a bit of Delta V at our disposal since we're using nuclear rockets, so not so much of a big deal. What is that periapsis? Kerbin periapsis. Is it actually closing in at all? Oh yeah, it's getting way in there. Good stuff. So I'm basically just going to go for a straight shot into Kerbin. We're going to skip the moon and everything else and bring everyone home at the and also destroy our space station all within the space of this episode. So is the plan. That is going to be what I would like to do. Let's see, 281 meters per second. That is pretty okay, if I do say so myself. Alright, I just want to make sure I'm not actually pointing at the space station. And then we are going to node in 3 hours, huh? Okay, fine. Let's go. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Should take less than 2 hours to be able to get away from the station. So there you go. Goodbye, Minimus Space Station. Everybody is on their way home now. And then we can go from there at some point. Although there's a couple things. I'm definitely, I think, going to take a break from the game for a little bit. I've gotten so many broken and half-used mods on here now that I'm basically just going to wipe my save and then or not wipe my save, but uninstall the game and then cross my fingers and hope it preserves some form or fashion of my save. That would be really excellent, but I'm basically preparing for the worst and hoping for the best at this point. So's the plan. And that seems like a really long... There we go. Yeah, that's the only reason why I would want to keep using the joystick is for like fine throttle control, and that doesn't seem to be particularly necessary. So, is this actually... No, that is not going to put us through the planet. Okay. That was what I was afraid of. Is it does look like we are firing directly at the surface of Minmus, and that's not exactly our destination. At least, not that particular surface. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're just waiting for us to hit our Delta V constraints here. And then we'll let this thing go and do as it pleases. Oh, look at it go. Indeed. Okay. Don't know exactly what happened there. Moon was not a part of our original charting procedure, so it looks like we probably intercepted the moon a little bit and maybe could have used that instead of burning all this extra fuel, but again, we have plenty. I am not concerned in the least. So here we are, waiting for everything to close in on where we want it to be, and looks like we're gonna get it. Good stuff. We fired a little late, but again, this far out, it doesn't make that much of a difference. And, yeah, it looks like all of our plots are now completely screwed. Perfect. Let's see. Stability assist. Let's go ahead and turn this puppy around a little bit and then get back to where we were actually around Kerbin and not shooting off into a solar orbit, which is not at all the plan here. Okay. There we go. Looks like... And that's what we want. Alright, so this SOI change is going to take place in 2 hours. So we will go ahead and add an alarm for SOI change. Yes, okay. Make sure everything's fine there once we actually hit that SOI change. Again, the idea here is if we're passing in front of Minmus, while we do this, then it's actually going to slow us down with its gravity just a little bit. Not to mention that we kind of went out of our way to do a really crazy flight path in order to pull off this quote-unquote maneuver. Either way, we are done there. Now, to the station. Alright, I'm going to take a drink of my coffee. Delicious. Oh wow, a very interesting file stand technique has been discovered on my desk right now with the random cables that are on top of it. At some point I managed to pick up a piece of mail and now it is suspended upright and looks rather interesting to say the least. Okay, here's how I want to do this. Let's go ahead and activate our engine. Look at that. Why does it say we have no fuel? That's a great question. Oh, because the pipes are no longer attached. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, let's see if we can... We should be able to transfer fuel. So we'll do that relatively quickly while we tell it to spin around. Let's go retrograde. Yeah, this might take a little bit. But we're going to let it do it on its own. If it ends up banging itself to pieces, then that's not really going to bother us as much as it probably should. So that's the good news, at least. So, again, it is time. We are now decommissioning the Minmus station. And what a fantastic station it was indeed. These were good times had by all. And now they are done with and over. So, as much sad as it is, I wish I could be playing like My Heart Must Go On at this point or something like that. But I am a little worried about having my videos pulled down, especially one as grandiose and glorious as this. The real debate is, do I want to turn down the pretty so that we can get a better explosion or not? Otherwise, this thing is going to hit the ground and it's going to take about, you know, 8 seconds per frame or so, if I had to guess. Ooh, those two are getting real close. Oh, they're getting real close. Oh, they're going to hit. It doesn't look like they're actually going to hit. Okay. Oh, it's going to start swinging back around. This is where it gets iffy. Ooh, man, I really miss KAS right now. That's all I can say. That was a really great little, what you call it? Excuse me. It was a very good add-on, to say the least. It allowed for a lot of planning for some interesting sorts of... oh, man. Look at it go. It is having some issues. Let's see. How are we doing? Electric charge is obviously going to be fine, because we just completely bedecked the whole thing with solar panels. More coffee while we wait. And it's just going to continue to flip-floppy around a little bit, which is totally fine. We've got all the time in the world as far as I'm concerned with this, so too bad we can't do a little bit of space warp, time warp, whichever one it is that allows for adjustments while going faster, because that is rather convenient to say the least. Okay. It is pointing. I could just wait until it gets to a point where it's pointing at retrograde, but that seems less than fun. Alright, which engine is this? We need to make sure we deactivate it. Yeah, that is that engine. That's not going to help. Shut down engine. Okay. And now we are waiting for everything to swing back into position here. I believe... Do I want to turn on RCS? RCS seems like a very tricky proposition for this. Oh my goodness. This is nuts. Okay. Well, once it starts pointing a little bit, we'll go ahead and fire up the engines like this. That ought to help things a little bit. Oh, you can see the stretch. Everything's flopping. Oh boy. Is it going to hold together? Probably not, if I had to guess. Some of these things were not made to hold together exactly. Alright, let's go ahead and cut the engines. Okay. Did that do anything to our orbit there? Not in the way that we wanted? Okay, sure. Oh, yeah, wait. I'm not controlling from the right angle. Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, at least it's not apparently folding into itself like I thought it might. Okay, let's, oh, okay. Whoa. I'm trying to control from here. Oh, my goodness. This is fantastic. Now would be a great time to try to, speed things up, wouldn't it? That'd be really interesting. Actually, let's do that. Oh, it's under acceleration. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Not really, but you know, I'm not gonna judge. Yeah, okay, so good. It doesn't seem like it can self-collide at the moment. This is convenient because we want all of it to collide with the surface, ideally. That is kind of the goal. So this works out in our favor somewhat, but just watch the beautiful dance with this music in the background for a moment. Glorious. Alright. Basically, anytime that we're going to be pointing at retrograde for any period of time whatsoever, we'll go ahead and try to fire the engines. Man, those docking ports really are tough, aren't they? And these things are still mostly filled with fuel, so that's even more impressive to a degree. Oh my goodness. This is almost hard to watch. Oh my goodness, it's so floppy. So very floppy. Look at it go. Okay. Let's see, did that kill our orbit at all? Not particularly? Okay, well, you know. I don't know what I expected. Is that the appropriate meme for this particular situation here? It's definitely turning into a little bit more of a... maybe perhaps chaotic is the only word that can really be used to describe this. Okay, we're going to try this a different way. Okay, cannot warp faster while ship is under acceleration. If we try to switch to another ship, it'll just revert it to where it was before, and that's not exactly what we want to do. Oh, damn you, Beta, for breaking my KAS. Oh, KAS would have been so handy right about now. Okay, yeah, look at it go. It's just going to keep doing this. Alright, let's see if, we're already at 12 minutes of this nonsense. I'm debating whether or not I just want to do a huge fast-forward cut of all of this, which, at this point seems like maybe the best idea, and then, hope for the best in the future, more or less. Okay, can we... There we go. Okay, let's see what happens now. Now we're officially experimenting. Okay. Hey, that's not too bad. We're, a lot less floppy than we were before, which is a good sign. Let's go ahead and try to do this manually. I'm going to turn on RCS, and then we're going to very gently and actually turn off SAS, because SAS is going to be what screws us up as all the individual parts try to correct for their location and fail miserably in doing so. That's really the killer here. Okay. I'm just gently tapping on the directions. Maybe we won't need to fast forward after all. Convenient. Alright. Okay. Yes, this is working much better. Alright. And... oh my goodness. The slow march of the space station. It is turning where we want it to, which is the good news. Okay. We're still controlling from here, right? Alright, none of the markers change, so I'm pretty sure we're on a right path. Okay. We want to go more in this direction. Okay, looks like we're going to be able to get there in a fairly stable fashion, which is just totally dandy. As far as I'm concerned, I'm alright with it. Okay. And as soon as we get there, we'll cheat a little bit, and by cheating I mean use time warp to hold our position where we want it right there, and then we will fire our engines until we are safely en route with the surface of Minmus. Oh, 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 oh. I've forgotten how to use the keys. I was using the control stick for so long, it's made this whole process a little awkward and less organic for sure. Okay. Okay, almost there. And slow everything down, hopefully. Okay. There we go. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's not too bad. Now we need to just accommodate for the stretching and the flopping that will invariably happen. And then, yeah, again, fingers crossed, hope for the best, all of that fun. Okay. And so far, not a lot of floppy. We've got a decent amount of acceleration happening. And our periapsis is indeed coming in closer to the planet itself. Now, as long as we can just hold this position, we should be good to go. This SAS is actually making me more nervous than confident about what's happening here. The other problem being that our center of mass is like completely wonky because we have random fuel in all of these tanks now, basically. Yeah, that one's full. This one's a little less than full. That one's halfway empty. That one's halfway empty. Yeah, just, there's no rhyme or reason to it, and I'm not too worried about that. We could almost be served by turning on this engine, although I'm pretty sure that would just send this spiraling out of control without a doubt. Okay, let's turn back RCS back on and then try to just maintain our position here. Oh, is that a good idea? I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of interesting though, isn't it? Hold your breath, people. This is going to be great. Okay, let's speed it up just a little bit more. Yeah, you can see the stretch. Stretch is happening. Stretch is real. Okay. Where are we at? Periapsis. Oh, that was apoapsis. Now they're officially switching. Okay, we are on our way. We are very close to accomplishing something fantastic here. Oh, you can see them trying to spread out there a little bit. Pretty cool, though. You gotta say. Our little chariot engines here are definitely doing their job as we had wanted them to all along. Excuse me. Okay. The drift is no big deal, just so long as we're stuck on retrograde here. Oh, here we come. We're at 25,000, 24, 23, 22, 21,000. There we go. And now we're below 15,000. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and touchdown. Right as the engines died. Did you hear that? Oh, fantastic. Okay, so we're going to have this really great inclination here as we go in, and hopefully that'll leave some debris flying around the planet, or so is my absolute profound hope. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're heading this way. Cool stuff. Oh! Oh! That was maybe a little too fast. Okay, cool. That would have been really upsetting if we had managed to miss that. That would have almost warranted a load from a previous save. Okay. And here we go. That's one of our flags there, of which we now have many upon the surface of Minmus. And we're going to speed it up just a little bit more. I'm watching that altitude now. The altitude is the important element here. Oh, here it comes. It's going to be on the dark side, unfortunately, but perhaps we'll light things up just a little bit. Hey, there we go. There's an idea. Let's turn on the lights. Hey. See, this is what I was talking about before, where it's like, hey, I added lights, and they kind of suck, because look at how weird that lighting scheme kind of is. It's very interesting, for sure, but not what I would consider immediately useful for most of our purposes. So here we go. We are approaching at 200 meters a second, roughly. We'll definitely go over that by the time we hit the surface. I'm going to go ahead and time warp just a little bit as we indeed do get closer here. Okay. Oh man, it makes me nervous. I don't want to time warp any more than I have to. Alright, we're at 201 meters per second. 202. Okay. Oh man, I'm on edge. Oh, there it is! Oh, perfect side view of the planet while it's happening. Oh, my goodness. Oh, look at that. The debris. Oh, the debris. Oh, that's fantastic. And our camera is still centered. Oh, my goodness. Look. That's all that remains now. Isn't that fantastic? We still have pieces of probe that survived and are now flying out, and you can see little other pieces getting dashed along the surface. Oh, that is spectacular. These are all that remains of the Minmus station, and they shall remain indefinitely, forever, basically. That's kind of the plan there. Let's see, what did survive? Oh, we've got one of the arms here. One of the arms has flown off, and is now destined to circle the planet, if you can call it that, indefinitely. Let's look at some of the other pieces here. There's an engine. Oh, man! That one's got a good spin to it, doesn't it? There's another engine. What are you? Oh, you're a box full of parts. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, don't you love it? Ah, man. Lots of spinning, lots of pieces just slowly, lazily drifting through the air. Oh, look, that's a KAS piece right there. A random docking port. Perfect. Oh, look, one of our solar panels managed to survive. Does it actually have a count of resources that can be used from it? Not exactly. There's another KAS piece. Oh, hey, that's one of the big tanks of RCS there, which has a full, or no, just 745. Not enough to really do anything with, of course. Our solar panels here are still functioning. That's good stuff. What is this? This is, I can't even, is this just a strut endpoint? I think that's just a strut endpoint has survived. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Batteries. Batteries are strangely resilient, it seems. Another solar panel all by its lonesome, directing itself towards the sun for all of eternity from here on out. Hey, look at that. We could have left some guys in here and they would have survived the crash. That would have been kind of interesting to see. And here we are, back to the original piece. Oh my goodness, look at it. It's beautiful. It's truly amazing how that actually ended up working out. Let's go to our map and see what it says for all of our orbits here. Oh, it's going to make another pass, and then it looks like everything's going to end up crashing into the ground again. Sigh. Such is life. We do have a number of... let's see. Let's turn on debris and see what it looks like. I'm a little scared to do so. You know what? We'll go back to the Space Center for that one. Let's see what happens. Maybe some of it has actually created a stable orbit around the planet, and we won't be able to see until we actually look at it individually. And that will be our reminders of the once glorious Minmus Station. Oh, hey, look at that. We actually got quite a bit of debris left over around here. I'll have to clean that up at some point. Let's, oh, that's the moon. Minmus is way out there. Relative. What is this? Minmus Station debris. I think that's probably not immediately related to all of that. Oh, he got some pieces that are flying way out there. This is on a exit path. It is on a escape route. This one is just arcing up and down and over. Oh, look at it. Wow. Oh, that spread is fantastic. It's absolutely awesome. So that'll all, for the most part, in... yeah, I'm going to clean this up while we're looking. For the most part, that will all end up falling to the ground. We're going to delete the ones that are obviously been around for a while, because that's not nearly as fun. And then we will go back to maybe seeing the second pass of everything as it crashes back into the surface here, although it looks like there's going to be quite a bit of a time spread on that, so we won't worry about it too much. Still, it always makes me happy to see everything sort of fly apart like that, and we will at least have one that looks like it might actually become an extrasolar entity. No, it's going to be a very long... Oh, Minmus bus. There we go. We don't want to delete that. That would be bad. Very bad for PR and otherwise, and our health, etc. Let's see. We have no debris around the moon except for our Phantom engine. So, and then over here we have tons and tons of debris that I need to clear up a little bit of, maybe just a little bit. These are all of our previous engines and whatnot from launch. Nothing too terribly important. And I thought I had cleaned all this up in between videos, but apparently not. Not a big deal, though. Not. It is kind of shocking, though. Every now and then you'll be flying around and coming in for a landing, and then you'll see something, and it's like, hey, I don't have you targeted. You're not supposed to be in space, and you realize it's a random piece of debris that's going to fly within about 300 meters of you. And then you're like, ah, that's why this kind of stuff makes the news every now and then about all the space trash that we have out floating around in our upper atmosphere from previous space missions, because that's exactly what happens. They jettison things like fuel tanks and engines and space pee and space... Well, I think they bring the poo back. I can't remember. Not that I really want to choose to remember that, but it seems like something they'd recycle. I don't know. Especially since, you know, once it's out in space, it'll freeze and become a very hard, fast-moving projectile at, you know, the 300,000 miles per hour that they have to travel, or however fast it actually is IRL. I know it's 2,500 meters per second to attain a Kerbal orbit. Unfortunately, much to my personal chagrin and ineptitude, I do not know what the orbital velocity of Earth actually is. And maybe I'm a little disappointed in myself for that. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Let's go ahead and, you know, we'll watch this for a little bit, just because I want this to resolve itself and clean itself up for the most part. And then, yeah, then we'll be really good to go. There we go. We are now currently a spool of cable. Everything is still flying around in the air quite miraculously. We're going to speed up time here as fast as it will let us for this particular situation. We got a few pieces that are falling towards the ground. Semi-successfully. It looks like we're falling towards the ground. That's pretty cool. I'm okay with that. What are you? Can we... Home of Space Santa. Oh, that's a flag on the other side of the... Or at the poles over there. That's what that is. Okay. Let's see. Yes, this is definitely... That's all the greats. There's another one of our landing sites there. So we pepper it with debris from our space station. Look at it. It's formed quite a beautiful arc of debris over the surface here. It's rather fantastic. Let's go ahead and see if we can't switch to that. Is it going to let us? No, not exactly. But we'll sit here and watch for a little bit as everything comes careening down to the surface. This is going to be that first little spiral of things. Yes, we are currently, oh, I think it says, yeah, we're due to fall here at any second. We're going to go ahead and set, switch 2 over here. Watch everything else hit the ground and disappear somewhat unsanctimoniously. Let's go ahead and speed everything up, and we'll watch for disappearing bits. You can see they're just slightly disappearing. There goes what I believe is probably our cables there, or that was. Yeah, you can see as it slowly begins to delete along the surface there. Everything falling and hitting the ground and probably causing at least semi-decent explosions of debris as it goes. Totally good stuff. Yes, so here we go. We are now cruising faster. It's having a harder and harder time processing all of this information as it gets further and further out, and also is careening into the surface. Man, it really does not like doing it, does it? Okay, well, that's a minor problem. And we've got things that are already beating us all the way over there to the other side of the planet. That doesn't seem entirely right, but we'll take it at face value at this point. And you know what, this might be a slightly more entertaining view to watch as everything comes careening back down to the surface. Oh yeah, it's got a lot to process on that, doesn't it? It does not like this very much at all, it being my computer. There we go, we've got pieces that are hitting the surface over on this side and peppering the landscape below as the rest start careening in towards the surface here. And let's see, we've got the one piece that's going to escape, I believe. Is that what that one is? I can't quite tell. Let's see, we are currently about to hit the surface ourselves, so this might be a really good time to switch views, and we'll watch it hit the ground. Beautiful. I love it. I like this is now Space Debris Simulator, Kerbal Space Program. Or maybe that's a subtitle, Space Debris Simulator, Kerbal Space Program. I think that would be pretty appropriate, and many people would agree with me on that account. So, and a large part of these are, they basically just bounced off the surface and are now returning to the original crash site. It's too bad you can't have, like, giant scorch marks that mark, like, where something fell or something like that, because that would be pretty interesting to see as it returned back to whence it had originated in the original explosion. Oh, here we go. Looks like we're coming in for a landing. Kaboom! Good stuff. Alright. What do we have left here? These are all pretty much, looks like, closed. That, can we switch to you, please? Can we switch to you? No, it's not going to let us. Alright, well, we'll just watch the rest of these if it'll let us. It will not. Okay, so Space Center, and track debris a little bit more until everything is resolved itself and we had our one escapee, and then we'll take the other guys home and we'll be good. Actually, you know what? I'm debating. I'm easy to amuse. I realize this. Like, this is one of the things that kind of make me wonder if I really should take casting seriously or not, because things like this, I like watching the world burn, so to speak. Not to, like, completely Minmus station debris. It looks like it's coming back around. Oh, jump to ship. There we go. We're getting to the SOI change. It's going to stop us for us. Save me from my obsessions with multiple pieces of things flying and scattering about the universe. Okay, so here we go. It looks like this is completely screwed up, but it's not. Okay, that's good news. Oh, I see. We ended up going all the way out here. Bizarre. Okay, well, it's going to be a long ride home, but we'll get home nonetheless. Alright, we'll slow it down a little bit. And I'm pretty sure everything should have resolved over there. There's our Minmus station debris. That is our memorial debris, as it were, not unlike our Phantom Cruiser before it. This is now... Let's see what it actually is. What do we have here as a reminder of the great accomplishment of the Minmus station? Please be like that one piece of strut. That would be hilarious. It is! Okay, it's a KAS strut, which means once I get everything else deleted, it too will be deleted. Unfortunately, but that is a very poignant reminder of the greatness of the Minmus station that was made possible pretty much solely by the fact that we had the Kerbal attachment system add-on put on, and all the other pieces that went with it that allowed us to actually construct that great monstrosity and fly it through space, like true space pros. So let's go... No, we just need to go to map. Okay, resume flight, map. Okay. Ah, that's kind of unfortunate. I was really hoping maybe something more permanent would be able to stay there, but we are going to have to delete that. Switch to... And let's go map. So now they are coming in on their month-long journey from the outer reaches of their Kerbal orbit and back down to Periapsis, where we will fire like mad and then hopefully get these guys home in a timely fashion. So let's go ahead and point retrograde and start doing that. Okay, more coffee for me. So yeah, I'm basically going to clean up my save and everything else, which means that this will be the last episode of Kerbal Space Program for the time being. It is a very complete game, which means that there is definitely potential for it to be played sooner than most. However, I think this would be a good time to maybe catch up on some other videos or videoable games. The first one that comes to mind right now is Tropico 5. It was just on sale the other day, and I was like, hey, Tropico 5, it's on sale. I haven't bought anything on the Steam sale yet, which is true. I made it through like the first 5 days without buying a single thing, and then I saw that and I was like, you know, I've put it off long enough. It falls into my purview of games I really enjoy, my Ant Farm Simulator type games. And also you get to be a tropical dictator, so it's basically Cuba Simulator 2014 or 2013. When did it come out? Yeah, it was a 2014 game. 2015 is upon us though, and let's hope it's as good as 2012. As the joke goes, what is your favorite game of 2012 of 2014? And that is very much so true for me. I am rather behind on a lot of games, and there's a lot of games I still continue to like playing that have been out for quite some time now, and I don't know what that says about the game industry as a whole. However, good things are coming out. This has been, you know, the year of Bayonetta, and let me think, what else? Dang. I feel really bad now, of course, as I'm sitting here going, okay, how can we justify being awesome? Well, we did have Bayonetta Elite Dangerous. Let me see. We had a new DS Zelda game, which is really good, Link Between Worlds. I haven't actually played it, but I know everybody likes it, and it's sitting here on my shelf waiting for me to finish Luigi's Mansion. Dark Moon, as well as Etrian Odyssey, Untold, The Millennial Girl, which I do like my Etrian Odyssey games. Man, there's so many games I wish I had like a capture card for that I could actually display on the YouTube somehow, or somehow profess my love for, etc. But I guess that will have to wait until I can figure out a decent format to be able to do all of that now, won't it? However, there's that's as much money as I already have spent on this channel, I'll be honest. The returns aren't great, and I'm a little hesitant to drop multiple hundreds of dollars on equipment for things that may or may not be fruitful. So I can hold off on that for the time being and maybe figure out some way to profess my love for the console games I cannot quite display as per normal on a channel like this. So, but that's neither here nor there at the moment. Our periapsis is closing in pretty significantly. We're going to get that a lot closer. We'll probably go ahead and dip it into the atmosphere and then hope for the best. And then, yeah, that'll be the end for this particular episode. And then tomorrow will be Tropico, and that will continue on until everything kind of stabilizes, and maybe I can get some of these, back online. Basically, the add-ons, everything else, all that stuff. But yeah, so that's going to be kind of the plan for now. Here we go. Kerbal Periapsis is closing in. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And let's cut the engines right now. Okay, cool. We'll be coming in a little hot, but when has that ever stopped us before? It's not like we have deadly reentry or anything like that. And wouldn't that be an interesting thing for me to install out of nowhere, unassumingly? Okay. And then we'll go ahead and slow down quite a bit, but not all the way just yet. Okay. It's going to slow us down for us, which is totally fine. Alright, it's going to point retrograde, and I'm going to bring us in for a landing vector here. Okay. And I do have parachutes, right? I do have parachutes. Confirmed. Confirmed for parachutes. Alright, let's wait until it stabilizes a little bit since it's pointing towards retrograde. Now, assuming if my save does get cleared, and I have this terrible feeling that it will, then basically what'll happen is I'll just play it for fun and try to catch back up to where I am now, except I'll probably add like Interstellar mod and a few other things to it, and then keep you updated with periodic newsreel type videos that will basically go into detail about what all I've been working on to try to get the save back to its current state, which is basically prepared for interplanetary travel. And once I can get to that point, then there's really no worries now, is there? Okay, so here we go. We're coming in for a pretty still steep landing, but not so steep that we're really worried about crashing into the ground or anything. Again, we do have a relatively stable orbit, and most of the reason why I just go to 30 instead of straight to the ground is for aerobraking purposes. This will help bleed off a great deal of our speed, even more so than our rockets are. Since, as useful as they are not known for their incredible thrust capacities, and of course this creates problems. But, you know, whatever, no big deal. I do have lander feet on here, just for fun, because I want to practice making ships that are more compatible with just landing gently in general, and then also because eventually, you know, I wouldn't mind trying career mode, and career mode is very much centered around the idea of like how much can you recover in order to preserve your budget and all of that other fun stuff. We got a really interesting re-entry effect going on here. I don't know if you can see this, but the way it's kind of flaming up on the sides here is not your standard flamey action, and I think that's because we're actually bleeding off a pretty considerable amount of speed while we are in re-entry, so it's not creating the same compression effect or something like that, if you wanted to like bring real science into it. But I think it's just a weird graphical glitch with the fact that I'm using outside parts that are no longer updated for KSP 0.90. So here we go. We're getting down to 2,000 meters a second. We're almost certainly, yeah, we are on a collision course with the ground. Course, of course, is Welsh for course. I don't actually speak Welsh. I'm just making up for the fact that my ability to naturally slur words is ever present and kind of irritating, but still. Okay, monopropellant is weirdly being used. We're going to go ahead and use some more of it just because we can. And that H button just so happens to be right there, and we're going to probably get about as much thrust as we are out of our nuclear rockets there. Okay, maybe not as much. That's a little bit of an insult to the nuclear rockets, but still, thrust is thrust. And we have fuel to blow, so let's blow it. Okay, so here we go. 1,600 meters per second. Everybody, how's everybody feel about coming home? Hey, Herring is pretty okay with it. Everyone else is, you know, they're alright. Jebediah, of course, sitting with the grunts there. Jebediah and Bob hanging out. Bill Kerman in charge of the actual piloting, I'm sure, is exactly what's happening there. And Edwell seems pretty happy. Roddick has some sort of an iPhone that he's trying to see if he gets reception on. Is that what was going on there? You'll have to rewind and tell me if that is indeed what I was saying. Hey, we've got re-entry effects again. That's not weird at all. I guess we dipped out, or we were just barely skimming the surface, and then managed to leave that section of the atmosphere and are now re-entering it as we continue to bleed off more speed. And that has created interesting effects, I suppose. So still we are firing all of our engines at full blast as much as we can here, and now the air itself is helping us to slow down, and we're already canceling out the re-entry effects before we leave the re-entry effects zone, as it were. If we had managed to maintain that speed, we'd be getting the Mach effects, which are basically the big white contrails looking things that we can get, and you know, it's kind of whatever. But looks like we probably have enough delta V. I don't think we could actually conquer the gravity, so to speak, with this, but we can indeed pretend that maybe we could, and then launch again, just go right back to Minmus. And maybe Roddick Kerman right there with that face that he's making is causing too much of a fuss, and Bill Kerman has threatened to turn this ship around, and now we're going back to Minmus because he just won't settle down, now will he? Okay, here we go. We are definitely heading towards the surface, so I am going to go ahead and pop my parachutes here. There we go. We're now going to continue to bleed off even more speed, and I'm pretty sure we actually could overcome the drag of the parachutes if we wanted. However, that would maybe not be advisable, since it would make actually coming down to the surface that much more difficult, and we don't really want that. Everybody's ready to come home, and we're going to allow them that last little bit of dignity before we send them back into space to God knows where for years and years at a time, more than likely Duna and Eva. Eve, Duna, where are the other ones? There's all kinds of places that we could send them to that they could possibly never come back from, and so, you know, they need to feel the ground, do the Pope kiss the dirt thing, however that works, and then all will be well for them for the time being until their next adventure. So, and look at that, we have plenty of fuel. I'm still not used to this whole managing or budgeting fuel versus how much I need versus, you know, how much is in excess, and then we just end up moving around basically a huge volume of fuel for no reason at all. And, you know, that'll be a... Oh, we're going to lose some of our engines. Oh, don't tell me. No, everybody survived. Everybody survived. Yes. Did they survive? That's an engine, that's an engine. Yes. Everybody survived. Okay, that was really frightening for a moment there because our RCS decided to turn on and make all kinds of crazy things happen, but it's not its fault necessarily. Still, those were not nearly strong enough for what they needed to be. We lost a fuel tank, we lost an engine, but otherwise everybody seems to have made it. Let's go ahead and recover vessel. We're going to recover everything and then be done with it, basically. So let's go ahead and see what there is to see. Do we actually get any research from that? That's a great question. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it looks like we got 20. Data value, recovery of vessel return from orbit around Mimas. Next. That's 4 of them. We're going to go to our space center here and recover everyone else. We're going to recover. Recover. And recover. And recover. There we go. Cool, and 3 more science, sure, whatever, and 3 more crew members, which is slightly more important. And then our Minmus station debris and our moon cruiser and our multitude of flags are all that remains. Can we? It says I have 4 pieces of debris floating around, but where are the other ones? Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know what that means. It's very strange. But yes, let's see, we have 2 ships. What? Are you serious? We have 2 ships, but it won't tell us. See, everything's all kind of buggy right now, so I just need to rewipe my install, hope for the best, that kind of a deal. And then, yes, there's our obligatory flag, and then our moon flag, and then our mini Minmus flags that helped us remember what we had seen and what we had not, etc. And so, yeah, super good times. Let's see, where did the obligatory flag? That's kind of a ways off from the Space Center. I think the Space Center is right there. I don't recall. Oh, interesting. Oh well, that's not important. So, yes, and... yeah, so there we go. That is our Minmus mission is officially complete, and all is super well. And it turned out much better than I thought it would. What can I say? This has been Cardboard Decoy playing Kerbal Space Program. Again, there's going to be a little bit of a break time while I play something else for a little bit, and then we'll come back to this once I have all of the installs properly installed and maybe a little bit more content expanded upon that we can play with. And that should be real good fun, and then we'll start exploring the planets proper and coming up with even sleeker and more efficient station designs, all that and more next time on Cardboard Decoy Plays Kerbal Space Program. Until then, have fun.